There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? They're here.
Welcome to the Horror Club.
What's up, Horror Cup fans? It's Steg here.
And Gary.
Still Gary.
Was that a bit weird?
Every episode of the day, we just need to say that, right?
Still Gary. Still here.
How's it going? We've been quiet for a while, haven't we? You've been away, I've been away.
Yes, I've been on a few film shoots and the podcast has slipped slightly by about a week, maybe two. When this one comes out, we have just released Rec or REC or open bracket REC close bracket.
God. What were you filming? Can you tell people?
A few things. I was filming a period piece down in Dorset, and I was in Arran for a little experimental short film, and I think that's it at the time of this is going to be released.
I didn't know you knew a guy called Aaron. Hey.
What have you been up to?
I was filming through in Kirkcaldy with Hex, Slave and the General, Secret Slave and the Sorcerer. So I was there for about 3 weeks. It's pretty good. More boobs, more moobs, more.
Did anyone get their sword out?
Oh, hey! I get my daggers out. Aye. It's all busy in the film front, so it's been pretty good. And also for the listeners who were there in Glasgow, Scotland, not Glasgow, Kentucky, for the Secret Cinema on 3 weeks ago. Thank you very much for attending. They had a pretty good night. It was the first one, and it's good turnout. And yeah, so thank you if you were there.
And by the time this one comes out, our second Secret Cinema will have been released. And even though we've not done it yet, we thank you too.
Thank you in advance.
Yes, thank you in advance. Thank you to your future selves.
Okay, so what have we got this week? What have we got lined up for the audience this week, Gary boy?
We are discussing on today's episode, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Since the new one is coming out, this was my pick, so I decided let's go back down to, was it late 90s, this one? 99 maybe?
97.
97, no, you always get them right, yeah.
Same year as Scream.
So,
Scream 2.
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So, what was your thoughts the first time you seen this film, and then how did you feel after your most recent watch?
Oh, looking at it through a 13-year-old's eyes. I loved it. I loved it when I first saw it. Probably saw it in VHS. I must have watched it, God, I've done it many times. Always really enjoyed it growing up. I hadn't watched it in maybe 10, 15 years or something like that. So after the watch the other night for the podcast. But yeah, I've seen a lot that 13-year-old Steg never saw.
See, it's funny, right? Because
I never saw the one thing that 13-year-old wanted to see to Jennifer. Cut.
So it's interesting for me as a, probably 16, 17-year-old boy. I loved the first two films, I Know What You Did Last Summer and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Actually, funny story, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer was the first film I got to pick in Global Video, the rental store.
Oh, was it?
And I remember getting it, and I actually bought it out of there. Do you know you could still buy certain things?
Oh, yeah.
So it was the first one I bought, and my mum was like, you can only watch it if you put it on at 8 o'clock at night because I want you sleeping by 11 for school the next day. So I was definitely still at school. But watching this recently, last week, I actually still really enjoyed it. I thought it was still a decent little film. It's not scary.
No.
All the kills are basically off screen for the most part. I think there's one that's kind of on screen, still got a bit of a cutaway, and that's Max.
Max's, yeah.
That's quite a brutal
Oh yeah.
brutal one. But yeah, most of it's off screen. But I still think, other than the off screen kills, it's a sign of the 90s. You know, like quite a lot of like even things like Halloween H2O. That's a great film, but
Yeah.
most of the kills are off screen in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a kind of sign of the times. But yeah, I think I appreciated watching it this time more than what you did.
Yeah,
We'll get into that.
I was in a terrible mood sitting down watching it. So I don't know if that had something to do with it.
Maybe.
I had like 2 or 3 days of just like chaos with the camperman. I was just like, and I sat down. I was like, right, I'm just going to watch this. But I was just raging for the first. Okay, we can actually, we can chat more about it once we flip the coin of destiny. Okay. I just want to say, but for I still know you did last summer. Brasilia.
I know, yeah.
Man, what
I
a
know.
line. Jack Black as well.
Yeah. There's a lot wrong with that.
There's a lot wrong with it.
Okay.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
Tails.
So I have to do it then.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'll do the next one.
So when a group of graduates decide to get drunk on the beach and are driving home, they accidentally hit a boot. Oh no, wait, that's a scary movie. They accidentally hit a body. We hit a boat!
Oh my God, we hit a boot!
They hit a body and decide very quickly that they need to cover it up so as they can all go to their upper class colleges. But their past comes back to haunt them because someone knows.
So the boy and girl are making out, right? When they hear over the radio that this lunatic killer's escaped from an insane asylum.
That's not the way it goes. The boy goes for help, and the girl stays in the car, and she hears this, like, scratching sound.
No, he's been decapitated.
No, he was gutted with a hook.
What's wrong with you? Watch out! Oh my God.
You think he's dead?
We can't just leave him here.
Oh, tell me, little Miss Prelaw, what's the charge for manslaughter? We make a pact. Right here and now we take this to our grave.
For the last year, 4 friends have kept a secret.
Are you on drugs?
No.
Well, then what is wrong? I've had a rough year.
But not all secrets stay buried.
Somebody sent this to me. Oh my God.
Someone knows.
I know what you did last summer. Ooh.
You know, that's actually one of my points, that what you said there. Like,
We hit a boot!
fuck, that's brilliant. Oh my God, we hit a boot!
But it shows you that I Know was really popular for the Scary Movie spin-off to be so popular.
Yeah. I think, well, let's go. I'll go with my positive point number 1, right? This film made me think of Scary Movie more than Scream. And I like Scary Movie.
Uh-huh.
So, that is my first point. It's funny because when I watch Scream, I don't think of the spoofy parts that Scary Movie picked up on
Yeah.
as much as watching this. Literally, when she picked up that boot, that actually got me in my bad mood. I just was in my head going, oh my God, we hit a boot. And then she's like, she says, oh my God, or something. She goes, oh my God, she runs over. And she picks it up, turns around, and you see the blood. I don't think she says anything, does she?
Yeah. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it.
But the picture, Barry, he goes to his locker.
Yeah.
He's got the picture of the wee baby dick.
And Scary Movie, yes.
Swear to God. I don't know, I was just like, maybe that's... Okay, I'll try and be a bit more serious.
But what's funny is in that scene with the picture, watching it this time, so if our listeners can't remember, Barry, who's played by Ryan Phillippe, is
it Felipe or
Felipe? Yeah, played by Ryan, our good friend Ryan. He goes for like a workout and then he hits the showers and then he comes back and somebody's left a photo for him and it's his car and it just says, I know. And it's so funny because watching it this time, if I was in Barry's shoes, I'm such an idiot, I'd have walked past that photo. I'd have totally missed it because it's not actually at his locker.
Is it someone else? Is it the locker?
Because he takes it up and then he walks round and then goes to another locker for his clothes. So I'm like, literally, it's on the edge of a bit of paper. I would just think somebody's left something in the locker. So that was one bit I was like, that is a bit weird.
I think there's a few bits like this in this film. I think there's a few bits here going, how did that happen? Especially like with the amount of times that Ben Willis manages to clean up after himself, like right away.
I know. I've got that. Because one of my notes there is, we're jumping ahead already, but
No,
Julie hears some rustling in the boot of a car. She opens it up, and it's Max's body covered in crabs. And then she runs into Helen's house, and Helen and Barry are there, and it cuts back. So she's obviously told them, and it's them going to the car. I have never seen such a clean boot in my life. See if there was like one crab.
Clean boot, like the one she picked up.
But like, I was thinking to myself, did the crabs pick up Max's body and just walk sideways out of the car?
That's what Barry says, isn't it? He goes, "Oh, does the crab just like take it away?
Yeah,
take him away." Yeah. Okay, so on that, what you just said there, right? And I don't know if this is. Does that give you, when you maybe first saw it, did you maybe think there was maybe a supernatural element to the film? Watching it, because there's a couple of things that I think, I don't know if they were intentional in doing, and one of the big things is the killer and how he gets around.
Yeah,
I agree. Slow, always catching up.
Yeah, but that's slasher 101, isn't it?
Slasher 101, but usually it's reserved for someone who is I must say usually, but someone that's immortal or an entity like Michael or Jason. You kill them, they come back. With Ben Willis, he's just a guy.
True, well, he does come back.
He doesn't. Yeah.
But what I would say is, even as a child, the crab and the disappearance of Max's body, that always kind of annoyed me. But I did notice a few other ones, like the photo with Barry in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And Barry goes to the reception and says to him, "Is anyone else here?" And the receptionist is like, "Just me and you." So, like, well, how did he get in and out? I do question that. There was one cool scene, though, and actually it's always kind of stuck with me, and it's a really cool shot. Helen comes home after being at Missy's house, and her dad's just watching the football, and they're obviously quite estranged. They don't really talk. She goes and helps herself to, I think it's a Pepsi. Nice product placement there for Pepsi. It'd be funny if I got it wrong. It's Coke, but
that is Diet Coke.
There you go then.
Is it? I think it is.
The black stuff. But then she drinks it, and she comes back from the kitchen towards the front door, and that's where the staircase is to the bedroom. And as she walks to the front door, we just see, I mean, what are we calling him? We're not going to call him Ben, are we?
Phenom.
The coat.
The coat, yeah. Slicker.
The slicker. You just see the slicker dip into one of the bedrooms, and it's in one shot, and she just misses him. And I thought that was cool. But then that's the scene where he cuts Helen's hair. She wakes up and it's all cut off. I'm like, I mean, maybe he spiked the can of Coke / Pepsi to knock her out to do that or something, because she didn't wake up, but also then he manages to sneak out the house without the dad waking up. Although he's having some beers, so he would probably be a little bit, a little bit drunk, maybe in a deeper sleep.
You'd have thought I don't know if it would have been a better idea to maybe perhaps show him outside the house, looking in, scoping out the landscape. He literally just walks in the front door.
I know.
And you're like, I don't know.
But let me go on to my first point.
Go for it.
Because yes, I would say it's got a few flaws in it, but I still actually prefer this film to Scream, and I know that's a big swing. Scream is the better film, but I think this film is slightly more grounded in reality. Right, it's not so meta, and it's not like the characters seem a little bit more grounded in this. Like all the characters in Scream are cool, and they're a bit more like 90210 or Dawson's Creek, whereas I feel like these characters are a bit more grounded. And I think in other points the film is quite brave and confident in itself, which I kind of like. For instance, the film has no cold open. See, for a slasher film, usually you start, someone is killed, we get into the main story. This doesn't do this. We see someone a little depressed on the edge of a cliff, and then it cuts to our main characters. It doesn't need a cold open to start, which I really appreciate.
Yep.
The killer isn't a masked villain. the filmmakers hide him in the shadows, so we never really see his face. I also think it's quite cool that, unlike something like Urban Legend, so a little spoiler here for Urban Legend, but unlike Urban Legend and Scream, the killer isn't one of the main cast members either, so it's not like, oh, which one of you is the killer? It is someone else, which I think is really interesting for a slasher film in the late 90s. I also like how, we kind of just touched on this earlier, but I like how the killer uses a car like to knock down Barry. And you're playing a face because you didn't like that. And I didn't like it when I was a child, right? But actually watching it this time round, it's actually really ironic and it's actually really clever because they knock the killer down with the car but don't kill him. Then the killer comes back and knocks Barry down with his own car, possibly the same car, but deliberately doesn't kill him. So he's really toying with them there, which I thought was cool.
That smile I gave you there was because I've kind of got that written down as well. So,
and did you notice that as a child, or is that just as you've grown up?
Just as I've grown up, I don't think I noticed it as a kid. I think it is still the same car.
I think it is. He's just got it fixed and stuff. Yeah. And also, I know like Scream 3 and that kind of does it a bit more, but this plays more like a detective story with like, you know, the tracking down of like David Egan and stuff and Missy. And I actually think the story is a lot tighter than like Scream, and actually it makes a bit more sense. Like, yeah, Scream is a brilliant film and I do really enjoy it, but the reasons that the Scream killers kill is a bit weak sauce, isn't it? But this, I mean, guys got run over, he's come back and toyed with them a wee bit and then ready to pick them off for leaving them for dead.
Like all classic revenge.
But then you've got the kind of the stuff with David Egan and his girlfriend dying in a car accident, and it's like it all ties quite nicely. And there's a little twist and stuff there that is cool.
That's part of the film I really like, actually. I like that. I think that's one of its strongest aspects. I think without that, you would be a bit like,
it's a bit boring. Yeah,
just funny because people always say, I've heard. I mean, obviously it was covered in Scary Movie, but you go, did I know what he did last summer make any sense? No. Remember?
I think it does.
I think it does. But I've also heard people say about the plot and it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, to me, since I was a kid, I always understood it.
Yeah.
So I remember my dad not understanding it. I remember my dad asking me questions after, and I was like, no, it wasn't him. It was him. He was there for that reason. That's why he and all that kind of stuff.
So to me, let's see if I got this right. This is where I try and pitch it, and you're like, no, that's wrong. So David Egan accidentally killed his girlfriend in a car crash. His girlfriend was Ben Willis's daughter.
Susie. Yeah.
Yep. David Egan has went up to the cliffs feeling a bit suicidal, but doesn't commit suicide. And Ben kills him, and then basically on his way back gets knocked down by our main characters.
Yep.
That's it, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, it's simple.
Yeah. Aye.
It's simple.
Do you know it was a book?
It's based in a book.
Based in a book by Lois Duncan.
Is it worth the read?
I've not read it, but I've heard, I've kind of wanted to get my hands on it early years. I think it was kicking about in the 80s, I think it might have been written. Apparently, it's a pretty decent book. I don't think...
Is it like loosely based on...
Does what this film does, it doesn't go into a slasher more. Yeah. I actually don't think anyone dies as this guy's actually coming back at him for revenge. It's just a different... it's not like a total slasher like this.
Maybe it's more like a drama. Is it maybe more like a drama, do you think?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I've not read it, and I think it might be aimed towards maybe 18, 19 year olds. I could be wrong though. If anyone out there has actually read the book, let us know, because I do fancy reading it.
Yeah. Even the two scenes, and I know you liked her performance, but the two scenes with Missy, like you really feel for her as a character, and she seems like so lonely. See, when they leave her house and she's like, it's not often I get company out here.
Yeah, you totally do.
So what did you think of her performance actually?
I thought it was really good, because she's completely innocent in this entire thing. And you do feel a bit bad for her, because, I mean, when you first see her, she looks quite, quite dirty, quite obviously clearly alone. I guess they make her look a little bit on edge / kind of psychotic.
She comes at them with the knife, but then like, she's just gutting a fish.
I know, just gutting a fish at the back there in the sun, with fish and no freezer anyway on the site. But anyway, But yeah, I think she gives a really good kind of sincere performance in the film. I think it definitely gives overall strength to the film. I think what I found watching it the other night was the first 20 minutes or so when we're setting everything up. I didn't like the characters when they were, how do I say, happy before the accident. I don't know if the actors had a hold of the characters as of yet, and I found them more. This is a bit I'm going to what's the word I'm looking for? Contradict myself a wee bit, because I think they overplay it after the accident. It's like trauma, PTSD, we're all sad, and blah 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 blah. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar grows into a role a lot better than the rest of them. I do think Julie does well. I think Jennifer Love Hewitt has got a really good performance.
I've just
She's
remembered
given a shit ton of naffness to deal with as well.
Like the scenes with her mum as well are just a bit.
Aye, and Ray, fucking hell,
he's just psycho. He's just a psycho. But I also just remembered another Scary Movie part where, like, so see when, like, and this Barry's like, we take it to her grave, swear, and she says okay, and he like grabs her and he's like, we take it to her grave, say it, and then in like Scary Movie he's just like choking her out. It's like, ooh.
I think he elbow drops her as well. But there you go with Ray. He's literally standing there. Jennifer Love Hewitt and Julie, both J's. So like, Julie literally gets assaulted by Barry, and Ray just stands there and does nothing.
I know.
Like such a wet rat. And then again at the end of the film, he's the one that actually
saves the day. Yeah.
So Julie's sort of character has been kind of undermined by him. But in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the kind of end sequence with Ben, Julie screams about 10 times in 2 minutes.
I know. I think that's bad editing, though. I think they've just done a lot of scenes. I think they've maybe spent 2 or 3 nights filming on that boat, and it's just been chopped together a bit.
It's been chopped together too much.
Because they would have probably filmed, like, it takes... I understand it would take me longer, right? But I think we watched Ray climb onto that boat along the cable wire for about 10 minutes. Now, I'm not slagging Freddie Prinze Jr. I'm sure he's a very fit man, or definitely back then. And I know it'd take me maybe 30 minutes to do what he's doing, but for a viewer, it takes him a long time to get back in the boat. But what I would say, though, is I've got a little bit on one of my other points about Ray.
Okay.
And being a little bit of a wet lettuce, should we say. But just before that, I actually think them leaving the body seems like a good idea. Now, I'm not saying if I was involved in a hit and run, I would do the same. But, you know, sometimes you watch stuff like you were saying, like sometimes you watch these slasher films and some of the choices they make don't really make sense. But, you know, they have hit someone, they have all been drinking, there's DNA on the hood of the car, there's drink all over the inside of the cars because Barry drops it. So I think the setup for the reason they leave the body kind of works for the film.
Because he's still alive as well. So it's just like because he's alive, that's probably even more of a reason to get rid of him.
But they don't know he's alive until they get to the harbour.
Until they get to the harbour.
They don't realise he's alive.
Then I guess it's maybe, what would you do? Would you stop at that point and go, "Here, are you alright, mate? Like, someone hit you there. I don't know who it was, but it wasn't us. We've just found you here."
What
would you do?
There you go.
Is that what you would do?
But I think he does not wake up and grab the crown, so one of them kicks him into the water. Betsy, that's fucking Barry. He's a psycho. Barry's the real baddie in this.
And she goes, because Helen goes, "He took my crown," and then Barry goes, "Ah!"
Does he not just like,
fuck, he goes, fuck, yeah. Brian Philippe is like, he tries to make himself as big as humanly possible in this film, physically.
Yeah.
His arms are always out to his side. Johnny Galecki as well does it when he's before he dies.
So what an interesting character, right? Isn't it? Because to go from like this when he's playing like the little hard ass to like the geek and the Big Bang. The guy can act.
I think he's good. I think it's a little, again, these guys are, you know,
they're young as well.
They're young as well. I mean, Sam Shigella is literally just starting Buffy at this point.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot in that to be said where it's like they're not in their mid-20s playing 17-year-olds. They're actually probably around about that age. But again, as well, and it could be, we've not actually said who, Jim Gillespie, the director. If we're going to look at it, it's hard not to compare, in my opinion, Scream and Last Summer. Written by the same guy, Kevin Williamson. He wrote this before he wrote Scream.
That's interesting.
As interesting, isn't it? So I don't know if this is a little bit maybe Diet Coke.
Yeah, it could be the idea that, like, you know, he's wrote this, it's kind of on the back burner, he can't get it green lit. Makes Scream, it's a huge success. Producers are like, what else you got? And he's like, well, I've actually got this one sitting in a drawer, like, go for it. He maybe learned a little bit more with Scream and became a better writer, but didn't get time to go back and do like another few drafts of this.
Yeah. Like
maybe we would find out how, you know, Slicker got out of the gym lockers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, how he moved the crabs. Although just filming, you must have a crew of about 100 there. Somebody must have went, don't you think this is like a little bit strange? You know?
It's broad daylight as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, do you think this could
just
be
have like a big Hoover? Just...
because you would smell. If you opened up the hood of that car, if you were Barry and Helen, you'd have been like, right, okay, there's nothing here. What the fuck is that smell? It smells like crap in here.
Like, Julie, you know, shoveled in a while.
Julie, you're fucking stinking head.
Maybe the whole town, 'cause it's a fishing village, just says the odour.
Yeah,
of
maybe.
Fish.
Yeah, maybe. But I think going back to what I was maybe saying there is, do you think Jim Gillespie? I don't know much about him at all. What he's done?
Do you want to have a quick look?
Yeah, we can have a look actually. Yeah. So this might be a sort of the difference between somebody like Wes Craven having a script and Gillespie. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to find out what else he's done.
So he did Detox with Sylvester Stallone. He's not done much. He did Last Summer in 97, Detox in 2002, Venom in 2005, and that's it.
That's
so
it. Okay.
His career as a director was short-lived, which is quite sad.
That is sad.
But he's done a lot of second unit and AD stuff as well.
Okay.
Can I actually hit on something that's similar to Scream as well?
Mm-hmm.
And that is, there's some signs that the film is a little bit meta and the characters are as well. And I wonder if that is an influence after doing this after Scream.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're sitting on the beach at the start and they're talking about the urban legend, and they've all got their different, you know, ideas of how the story actually took place. And then one of them says, it's a story to stop teens having sex. So they already kind of know the rules of the slasher genre. That's them saying that. So much so that Julie has sex on the beach.
Yep.
And she's the final girl. So it breaks the conventional 80s slasher rule there. And also, when they're going to Missy's house, Helen says to Julie, this is like when Jodie Foster goes to Buffalo Bill's house. Like, it's the same sort of feel. So I'm not saying that they know they're in a film, but it just has a little bit of that kind of quality from Scream, but it's a little more subtle there. Even like at the end of the film, when it's just the hand that's left with the hook, the cop says something along the lines of, it's okay, he'll show up, they always do, which felt a little bit of like setting up for the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
As if like even the cop knew they were in a film, you know, like they always do. They always come back.
Yeah, that's a good point. See, go back to the Julie having sex part. I mean, again, it's something I never touched upon until this viewing. But do you think that's why breaking the one of the rules, but they do it in a way that's, you know, you'd forget about it 10 minutes later? Do you think that was maybe intentional? Wasn't that a big deal? We don't know. Actually, we don't know. Do we know if this is the first time having sex or the first time she had sex with Ray?
Well, we don't know, but she kind of like goes on top of Ray and he's like, are you sure? Which makes me think she's supposed to be a virgin.
Mm-hmm. Whereas on the other side of the town,
They're just going at it like rabbits.
They two are just good at it.
Although
You
it's
can
funny
impregnate me with the first of 3 children.
Yeah. But it's funny because I'm now thinking, is he like, are you sure? Because, having sex on the beach, just sand gets everywhere.
Yeah.
He's like, you're going to need a good shower after this. There's a fishy smell in this area because of the town, To get back to like more of a serious note, I'm hoping this makes you, maybe give it an extra half point here, but there is subtle themes hitting at the class issue as well, which I thought for,
A social class.
yeah, like for a kind of silly slasher film that's maybe just trying to rake in some cash. Like Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character Ray is working class, but all his friends are upper class. And when they hit the body, he says he's not got the money to get out of this. Like he can't get the fancy ass lawyers and things like that. But not only that, he's also the only one that doesn't escape the town after it. They all go to the fancy colleges or universities or whatever it is. They all get away, and he's stuck there. But even when Max shows up when they're trying to hide the body, Ray comes over and he's like, "What can I do for you, Max?" And Max says, "You can wipe that shit, don't stink look off your face." And then says, "You've almost got that rich boy act down." Yeah. So even the slang was like, "You're hanging about with all of us rich kids, but you're not one of us." And then after the accident, the characters don't speak. And when it gets like a year later, they've almost destroyed this upper class way of life. So you've got Julie having like a mental breakdown, and her mum is only worried about her grades in the school. Whereas if that was more of a working class family, they would be more interested in just Julie. Helen's ashamed that she's working for her sister in the clothes shop, and that she's broke up with Barry. Nobody has spoken to Barry. He's a psycho.
I mean, it doesn't help Helen, doesn't it? It doesn't help her because Elsa's a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, she might feel bad working there, but her boss isn't exactly doing anything.
True. And even Max, who's like quite a small character in it, but he's obviously a rich kid because he's the one that says to Ray, "You've almost got that rich boy down," right? But he's working in a fish factory.
Maybe he's just trying to take a year off to get some money together of his own, take a gap year, and go and travel. Maybe he's just searching for himself.
Who, Max? Maybe he's just searching for Jilly's pants, man. He's but
she's away, but he can't get her pants if she's away.
She can when she returns. But the only one that seems comfortable with his situation is Ray, because it's all he's known. So when they come back, he seems to be quite happy working on his boat and taking the life that his father had and things like that as well. But
because he does mention that, she does say that, "I thought you didn't know your father." He goes, "Well, I knew that he was a fisherman."
Yeah.
So I guess the film does a few times try and point the finger at Ray as a red herring to make us go, "Oh, it's the boyfriend."
Yeah, but they're using the class system to do that, because even Barry, when he punches Ray, he says, "You were always wanting to be one of us," and he thinks he's the killer because he's jealous that he's not. So I think there's just some interesting things there, and this isn't so much the class side of it, but it ties into it as Barry's hit with his own flashy car by the killer. Helen's hair is cut because she's slightly vain and kind of only cares about her looks. And the rich boy Max, who fancies Julie, is put in her boot, but Ray only gets the letter. And I think that's the killer also, who's a fisherman, also taking the piss out of these rich kids who think that the shit doesn't stink. So I think it's doing something with the class system there, and it's very subtle.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good show. Yeah,
you're probably thinking I'm looking too much into it.
No, I think there's I've got a note here because it's like I got a letter. I was howling.
Yeah,
I was dying when that scene happened because I was just like,
"What is it Barry says again?" "Oh, you got a letter."
He's like, he does that. He goes, "Oh, you got a letter? All right." Yeah. I get run over. Helen got her hair chopped off. Julie got a body in the back seat
in her trunk. You got a letter.
That seems fair. It's the look in Ray's face. I got a letter. I was
so shocked.
I got a letter. Do you know what's funny in that scene when he says about Max's jacket. I have never, when I've watched this film, noticed the jacket.
No. She's like, where's your jacket, Barry?
And he's like, oh shit. And I keep going, I should rewind this and look and watch to see, because you're because we know what happened to him, getting the sort of hook through the
Yeah.
You're always looking there.
I'm not going to lie, right?
Where are you looking?
No, not even where am I looking. I'm looking at the crabs, right?
You're counting them, going, right, how long is it going to take for him to get rid of that?
But I didn't even notice that the body was Max. I just, I just noticed there was a body full of crabs.
Maybe that's why.
It doesn't even look like Max either.
Yeah.
But before we move on, actually, just because we're talking about this scene, Rachel Munnock has wrote in and said, and we've both spoken about this before and we loved it, I just rewatched I Know What You Did Last Summer. I enjoy how unhinged Ryan is in this movie. He's talking about Barry. The first time I watched it, I thought he was the killer until he died. My favourite fact about this movie is the scene where Jennifer Love Hewitt spins in a circle screaming, "What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?" And it was only in the movie because a kid won a competition to come on set and said that's what she should do. Julie thought it was stupid, but later acknowledged it was the most iconic scene in the movie. So that little boy was given a chance to direct the scene, and that was what he directed her to do. And I do agree. I think it's a really cool. What are you waiting
think it
for?
is, yeah.
Again, scary movie.
What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Fuck you!
So if you remember the scary movie, when they replicate that scene, there's a guy standing on a roof ready to commit suicide and thinks the Julie character is talking to him. What are you waiting for?
It's fucking brilliant.
Oh,
so good, man. But that is, I think the wee boy was allowed to direct a scene in
I've seen it in a few shots. Yeah,
that's the first time where that's her. I can't remember what gets said to her, where she's like, what's the dialogue in that scene? It's like,
I can't remember, but it's basically when she goes, "Where's your jacket?" And then she's like, "He's not trying to kill us; he's fucking with us."
Yeah, and she's saying it's July 4th. This is his day. Whatever he's got planned is going to happen today.
Yeah, and
it's almost like this is like her making her stand.
Yeah, she decides to stop running.
Yeah,
it's basically the idea there as well. But yeah, I think it's a cool scene. Yeah,
I think it works. I've got a note here with I've just got it written down. So, parents in the film. We know that obviously Julie's dad's maybe recently deceased. The mum's there. The Ryan Philippe, we know he's got a mum and dad. We only see the mum
in the house.
When
he's telling her to keep it down.
Yeah.
She's probably too scared to come out anyway and deal with her sightless son.
He's a fucking nutter. Ray, we don't see any of his parents, but we know his dad's passed. Didn't know him.
Or not in the scene anyway.
Not in the scene. Same with Shagalla's dad is there. Our mum's dead. Is that right?
I can't remember.
It seems like they've only got like one parent each.
Julie,
Ryan Philippe.
Yeah, of course. Big rich boy still.
We don't see his dad. We only get told by him going, "My dad's going to tan my hide."
That's right. Yeah. What about Helen's sister? That's her out of Last Action Hero and stuff, isn't it?
Bridget Wilson.
Yeah, I used to fancy her as well.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realise it was her. Like, do you know there's a running joke here, like in the 90s, early 2000s, that they would cast like a really hot girl, but if they cast them as a geek, they put a set of glasses on them, and then there's that scene at the end where they take them off and they're beautiful. It's really interesting because when I was a kid, I used to love Last Action Hero. I used to fancy her in Last Action Hero, right? I mean, I can picture her right now. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm close.
I did not realise until watching I Know What You Did Last Summer as an adult that was the same actor.
You didn't?
And I'm going to say it's because she had the glasses on.
The Clark Kent glasses?
Yeah. I didn't recognise her when I was a kid, you know.
She was also in Billy Gilmore and...
Yeah.
No, Billy Madison. Billy Gilmore. What? Billy Madison and she was Sonia in Mortal Kombat.
I mean, Sonia in Mortal Kombat. Yeah. But it's funny because, you know, she's in a bit of a beige cardigan and a set of glasses in this, and you're just like, who are you? Why do you think Max gets killed?
Good question.
Because we understand why he's like messing with everyone else, but then it also kills the cop. See when
that's kind of a with the killing the cop I can get, because it's like he's almost like he has to get to Helen.
Yeah,
whereas Max is
kills Helen's sister as well. Actually,
kills Helen's sister. Yeah. Again,
but Max, there's no reason. He's
cannon
just
fodder for us.
Yeah, I think it's quite weak there. Like that's one thing I was like. The only thing I can think of is Max was at the scene of the crime and didn't do anything because he was too obsessed with Julie. But then the guy's supposed to be. Maybe he's not.
He's just been.
He's just like that pretending.
That's a good idea. I put that fake blood all in my face, huh?
So I found Max's death, or else he's killed just to later on to annoy Julie. But she doesn't seem that phased. It's Max. But I
find it hilarious when he's walking. He walks for a brief second with a hook in his hand, Max.
Oh,
and he's walking towards the camera, and his arms and his body's like, like his shoulders are pure pin back, trying to like say I'm the tough guy.
Yeah.
And he walks, he swaggers, and he does the.
Yeah, I always remember that.
And Philippe does it as well.
Yeah, that was quite cool when he points the hook towards the camera. And it's like a red herring a little bit that it might be him. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
I thought it was funny that Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character takes the urban legend story so seriously. Like he's committed to telling that story and serious, and the rest are all just kind of taking the piss. He's like, "No, it actually happened."
Yeah, he was getting a bit defensive, wasn't he?
Yeah, a bit emotional.
Yeah. So I guess we can maybe talk more about the sort of mystery aspect. I think it sets it apart from other films, other slasher films. Julie is the one who eventually figures it out. She goes back to Missy's place because she is looking to find this Billy Blue, who visited Missy maybe a few months after David's death.
And we worked that out that it's Ray.
We worked that out, yeah.
And see,
Ray.
If you watch Ray, it's quite interesting because when they're like, we'll go back and speak to Missy, when after Barry's just punched him and they're sitting trying to work out what to do, and she's like, we'll go speak to her again. And he's like, no, like, let's just run, let's just get away. And it's obviously because if they go and speak, they're going to work out that he's already been there. And it actually works second time around.
Yeah.
You think he's just been a bit weird or a bit...
He's like, you sound like a bunch of damn vigilantes.
Yeah.
And that does make you start to go, hold on a minute, why does Ray not want to go? Because we don't know Billy Blue at this point. We don't know his boat is named Billy Blue.
No, we don't. And neither does Julie or anyone because they've not seen each other in a year.
Yeah.
When Barry attacks Julie at the start saying we take this to our grave, promise, and Ray doesn't do anything, I actually think that goes back to the class element. Like he's too afraid to stand up to these rich kids.
Yeah, and it seems like Barry is a fighter, like he's a trained fighter, but he looks at it as well. So maybe it's that, and the class thing as well. He's like, I don't want to mess with this guy because he can fight, even though he gets his ass kicked.
Yeah,
a couple of times in the film, and he's like, that's what he says. He's so arrogant, isn't he? He's like, he's actually saying this. Is this after he punches Ray, or is this after? This is when he's on the hospital bed. He's like, I say we find this fucker and have a little one-on-one. He's like, I like last night.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
Yeah. Some of the dialogue between them is quite good. I'll pound his ass.
I know. Like, fuck mate, come on, give it up.
So what's interesting is there's no real diverse cast in this, and they almost fix it in the sequel by giving Julie a black friend. She's got a black friend in this one, but she at college.
Aye.
And then she got a black friend in the second one who becomes one of the main cast. So you're like, okay, they're actually doing something here with the diversity.
We've got a white Rastafarian as well.
And also they kill off the two black characters as well. So they don't do themselves any justice.
Should we talk about the Barry's death and Helen's death? Because I remember, again, I think when you've got someone that's playing a character as iconic as Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I just remember the amount of times I watched this film and I was just like, I just saw Buffy getting killed. I was just quite heartbroken by it. I'm a huge Buffy fan. But the whole sort of run up to her death is quite good. And I remember being quite affected by it because she's so close to getting away from him, and she just makes that fucking final mistake in just stopping and turning around. And you're like, if you just kept running 6 feet,
It's the parade that's going by.
The parade's going by. She's in that crowd. She's safe.
Yeah.
Or is she? And then she,
I love
what
that
are you
scene.
doing?
I love that scene though, where it's like all the mannequins are covered.
Yeah.
With the kind of perspex sheets. And then the killer just jumps at him. But I always see when you see stuff like this, it's like the original Halloween when he puts the white ghost blanket over himself and then puts the glasses on. I just picture these killers doing it. Like, I wish, like, it's very scary movie stuff, but can you imagine Michael putting the sheet over himself and going, "Do you know what we could just put on the glasses as well?" Or in this, the slicker, he's like, "Just going to hide under this perspex." I'll wait till she walks past and I'll jump at her.
It's risky as well.
Because she could just leave.
She could just leave and be like, the amount of time because at that point she is right next to the door. And you're like, what are you doing?
It's like kind of for the jump scare, isn't it?
Yeah, but I guess you know what as well.
It is cool when it's in the lane with the tyres, though. It is a cool kind of the way it's filmed from like the bird's eye view down. You just see like the hook coming into the darkness where she's standing and stuff.
I think I quite enjoyed the score at that point. The score that goes through Helen's chase scene is really nice. What did you think when you first saw it? Did you kind of fall into the it's actually Ray? It's interesting because we find out that Julie has figured out that it's someone else. We found out that she gets a news article reading up on the death of Susie. She's survived by her father, Benjamin Willis,
a
local fisherman, and then she runs into Ray and she sees the Billy Blue, and she's kind of like, oh no,
because she knows it's someone that visited.
Yeah,
that name. So because she thought Missy was getting visited by the killer.
Yeah.
So she puts. I didn't watching it even the first time. I did not expect it to be Freddie Prinze Jr. because he's too darn nice. So even when that happened, I was like, nah, but maybe that goes down to casting. See if you switched like Ryan and Freddie.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was like Barry was playing Ray. You'd be like, oh, he could be the killer. He could be the killer.
On that note, actually, what you just said there, in preparation for the podcast, just looking at different things, there's a lot of people that think that Helen should have been the final girl, not
Julie.
Julie, what do you think about that?
She's not got a lot of agency because it's Julie who tracks her down. When she gets the letter, she tracks Helen down. Then they two then track Barry down, and then they run into Ray. It's her that decides to go and pay Missy a visit. Helen does come with her, so I feel like she's the one with the drive, the motivation to get to the bottom of it. So I think it should be Jennifer Love Hewitt. What is interesting with Helen's death, she's with the cop and the killer kills the cop, then she has to escape the police car. It's very reminiscent of Scream 2, also starring Sarah Michelle Gellar. But the idea is Sydney has to escape the police car without getting killed by the killer as well. And it's funny they came out in the same year.
Yeah.
So, what do you think Freddie Prinze Jr. thinks about this film now? Looking back, I know he's obviously just came back to do the requel, I guess we'd call it, but he also runs a podcast that is a horror podcast called That Was Pretty Scary. So I wonder, like looking back, what he thinks of this film and his performance.
I don't know. That'd be interesting. Is there an episode on it? Do you think?
I'm not sure yet. I've not listened to it all yet, but I think he must be pretty proud of this film to then start up a horror podcast.
Yeah,
because he's not done a lot of horror films.
No.
So
I don't think he's done a lot of films since.
No, I mean he's in like obviously the scary. He's in the Scooby-Doo films. He was also in 24.
Was he in 24?
Yeah, he did a full season of 24 on the TV show. Yeah,
how was he in that?
It's all right. He played the pretty boy in it a little bit. But
I think he gets that a lot, but doesn't he?
He does.
He's all that. I remember I've seen him in that. I need to listen to that. I Still Know. I quite like to watch I Still Know again.
I quite like
that. I seen that in the cinema.
Yeah,
it's like one of the first horror films I saw in the big screen. So
And we could maybe do it. Like since we could maybe do that as another wee bonus episode since.
Yep, sounds good. It's funny seeing Julie at the end, like being like happy, because she spends the whole film being miserable, which I guess is understandable. But I don't know if there's a.
I would too with that fringe. It's a weird fringe he's got in this.
It's a weird fringe.
It's not as bad as
it's a 90s fringe.
It is, but it's all the gaps in between. It's not as anything. It's not as bad as Gay Weathers and Scream 3.
Oh, that's brutal.
But it's,
that's fucking. Nothing worse than that.
I know. But yeah, right. It was nice seeing her happy. But I think her fringe has changed at the end. So maybe
that maybe it is real, aye. And she's on the phone today saying, "Oh, you can ravish me in 2 weeks' time when you see me, big boy."
I mean, he's a good-looking big man.
And then she gets a letter. Before she gets in the shower, and the whole shower room steamed up.
Yeah,
and you're like,
cool. They do something similar in the sequel as well. I still know. I can't remember what it is.
At the very end.
Yeah,
when she's brushing her teeth. Mm-hmm. Aye.
I wouldn't make
Brasilia.
Have you any other notes or anything?
Oh, fuck it. Here's a note. When your boyfriend or, the guys in your team is fighting against a killer, don't shout at him and distract him. Because he's actually doing all right.
On the boat?
Aye.
He's doing better than Barry.
He's doing better than Barry. Barry fucking lasted 2 seconds.
Yeah, he is doing quite well.
And she's like, right, and he's like, and a ding.
The noise thing as well as a proper, like, old school sing.
And she just goes, like, fucking hell.
Also,
I watched this with my dad. I watched the second half with my dad last night. Well, he was downstairs, and and then he was on his iPad, so he was just kind of like this, and then within that, in the last 5 minutes, he was like, "There's a lot of screaming in this film, isn't there?" I went, and it was all Julie. It was mad. I was
it's because, like, well, that's a scene in it where, like, she goes into, like, the basement of the boat. Do you get a basement of a boat? Is that what it's called? The lower deck?
The lower deck.
And then she, like, traps herself in, and then she lifts a bit of wood, and all the ice falls. And every time she's trying to scurry up the ice, it's like a body falls, and she's like, ah! And I also wonder as well, why did they keep the bodies?
Yeah.
Like, literally, he's on a boat, take them out to sea, and dump them.
Because that makes you think, how did they get them there? How did he get the bodies there?
The crabs just... Maybe he's a crab whisperer. He could just got to be flute, and when he plays the flute, they listen to him.
I know what the crabs did last summer. I got crabs last summer.
But why is he keeping them on ice?
No idea.
Yeah. I know. I have no idea what you did last summer. Okay. Out of 5, what would you rate it?
2.5.
What?
2.5 crabs out of 5.
2.5? Really? That's all you're giving it? Fuck me.
Maybe I should watch it in a better mood.
All the subtle social class stuff in there. No cold open needed. No mask to hide the killer.
I think for me what brings it down, I think the characters are just really unlikable. I think that's a big
they're
thing.
supposed to be snobby upper class kids at the start.
Yeah, and that's it.
It's because Julie didn't get her boobs out into it.
That's really exactly it. That is exactly it.
I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 hooks.
I'm going to get 2.5 crabs out of 5.
Oh, God. Okay.
I do fancy reading the book. I might do that. I might get a hold of the book and give it a reread.
Nice. What's your creative recommendation?
So last night I started the I Know What You Did Last Summer TV show that was on Prime. So I'm only 1 episode in at the moment, but so far so good.
Yeah. Nice setup and stuff.
Yeah, nice setup. Characters are pretty good.
Characters are likeable.
Characters are likeable. Lots of drug taking, lots of sex. I mean, that's not in the first episode, but I do hear there's quite a lot of that in it, so I'm on board.
Sounds good.
What's your creative recommendation?
So mine's a silly one, right?
Okay.
But I knew we were going to end up talking about Scary Movie during this, right? My creative recommendation is not Scary Movie, because everybody's heard of Scary Movie. There was another spoof that me and my friend Thomas watched when we were kids.
I know what you're going to say.
And it was Shriek, If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. Right? I have no idea if this film holds up, but all I'm going to say is, I Know What You Did Last Summer gets 5.8 out of 10. Shriek, If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th gets 4 out of 10,
right.
which isn't that much below I Know What You Did. So if you
Okay.
want a piss take of I Know and Scream and all the other ones that's not Scary Movie, me and my friend Thomas thought it was hilarious when we watched it. We were about 60. Maybe check it out. If you can find it, maybe check it out. I'm going to give it another watch, but that is my silly creative recommendation.
Sweet. Well, that was good. So on to the next episode. Shall we see
Yes.
what it is?
Yes, we can. I'll give a clue. I said to my girlfriend the other day, I'd like a little pussy. And she said, me too. Mine's as big as a house.
Pussy, it's as big as a house.
So if you've not guessed, we are discussing
Fucking Predator!
Predator, yes. I'm excited for it. However, one question we need to ask ourselves is it a horror film? Until next time,
Stay clean, don't kill anyone in roads and bury it because it comes back. They always come back.
I am still Gary.
And still Steg. Bye!
Bye. That was a weird ending.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
We're friends to the end. Remember?
This is the end, friend.